This is my sister Pam. My mother was beautiful, and she was an Earl Carroll dancer in New York. One man pursued her and got her pregnant, and my sister Pam was born on January the 19th, today. The umbilical cord was stuck around her neck for 7 months of gestation. She's brain damaged with the mind of a 10-year-old. This man was violent, and he was an alcoholic. In my mother's words, I finally left him in fear. He followed us, and at gunpoint, Dran, you were conceived. Strangely, he died of a heart attack a few months later. Go figure. Our first live-in, Ralphie, was an alcoholic who, in his words, tried to make me hate him. I loved him anyway. At age 8, Ralphie packed his bags, said he was going away for a long time. He never came back. Our second live-in was Tom. My mother sponsored him out of prison. He was 6'4". He loved to laugh as loud as he could yell and as hard as he could drink. Pammy was sent to an institution. I was left alone, locked in motel rooms. I slept on the floor. I learned fear in those days. I saw Tom rip and tear my dog's legs. I saw my mom set on fire. I saw sex and violence. The cops were regulars. I'm now 11, and I still wet the bed. This isn't supposed to be hard, but it is. Okay. I hated the enemy that lived with us. And one day in a drunken rage, he strangled my mom. And so I kicked him as hard as I could, and he picked me up by the neck and he threw me against the wall and knocked the wind out of me. Tom lived with us until he was arrested and sent back to jail. Enter Big Bob. He molested my sister, and he tried with me. Finally, I got to leave home and, praise the Lord, got a scholarship to USC. In college, I answered an ad for a swimwear model, and that became a 17-year career. I was finally living the dream, money for everything I wanted. Now, I tried to like men, but to me they were all ticking time bombs. And to think that I would have to spend the rest of my life with one just gave me ulcers. I had 3 abortions, and never once did I consider it a life. I just didn't want to be saddled with those men. Abortion to me was a means to get rid of the men in my life. It was like the final breakup. After several more boyfriends, I entered the 12-step program, Adult Children of Alcoholics. And the first step is to give your life over to a power greater than yourself, and some people call him God. Amen. Yeah, amen, wow. Then I saw a billboard along the highway that said, "Stay with someone you know." In that lonely moment, I realized that there was no one in my life, so I did a moral inventory and decided that if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So I did the unthinkable. I started to pray, and by the grace of God was delivered my husband, Dean. We now have 3 children and 1 grandchild. Amen. Amen. I am a product of rape, and my sister is brain damaged. And if this story had taken place today, my mother would have aborted us, because abortion is legal. I have found great love in God's forgiveness. It wasn't my fault that I didn't have a proper upbringing. It wasn't my fault that abortion is legal. But it is my fault if I don't speak up for my 3 aborted children, whose blood cries out from the ground for years until I met Jesus. I'm proud to tell you their names, Teddy, Violet, and Jace. We have a grave site for them and for you. So if you want to bury ceremonially your aborted unborn child, let me know. I'd like to go with you. So go to the Salt and Light table that's over there and give us your contact information. There's also some red envelopes. Each one represents 1 aborted child. Get one and send it to the president, and please, if you could, just leave a donation for that. And lastly, will you do me a big favor? On the count of the 3, will you say happy birthday, Pammy, with me? Okay? 1, 2, 3.
Happy
Thank you.